G'day camper. Usually I'd tell you don't spend more than $30 on a butane camping stove. But this might just be worth 3 times that. Let's take a look at the Campmaster Spider Stove. So who is it for? Well, primarily for the solo camper or the camping duo, but I also reckon this is kind of for everyone. It's good to keep in the back of the car for a quick roadside lunch stop, or it's a great backup stove option. Now before we go any further, you need to know that no review on this channel will ever be paid for by the brand I'm reviewing. So thank you to today's sponsor Airlo, helping keep my reviews bias free and helping us all travel easier, safer and cheaper. Oh, I wish I knew about Airlo for that time we were in Phuket, when we got lost on the other side of the island, we were on rented scooters and it was getting dark, because Airlo is the world's first eSIM store that lets you buy digital SIM cards from over 200 different countries and regions around the world right here from their app on your phone. So instead of dicing around in traffic with a paper tourist map and a $2 compass, I could have had coverage with an Airlo eSIM and loaded up navigation before I even got off the plane. No more international roaming fees, no more queuing at the airport to buy a SIM card, and you get to keep your local phone number. Install Airlo free today and stay connected wherever you travel. Use my code CAMPER3 to get $3 off your first eSIM. Super handy, of course, for any camping trip abroad. You can keep your family and friends up to date, you can use the WikiCamps app without Wi-Fi, or you can book accommodation on the go. In fact, had I known about Airlo when I was camping in California, I probably would have booked accommodation rather than sweating out that 35-degree night in the tent. Phew, that was rough. Download the free Airlo app today. Use the code CAMPER3 to get $3 off your first eSIM and activate it when your trip begins. Now let's talk some hard stats. Measurements in the case, 350 wide by 120 deep by 150 high. If you look around online, you'll actually see mixed weight stats for this. So I popped it on the scales at home, and in the box it weighs 2.3 kilos. When it's set up, it's about the same size as a regular single butane stove, 350 across by about 350 back, including the knob. For the pricing, it's a good idea to shop around on this one. The highest price I saw was about $119. I also saw them commonly around $90, even as low as $80. And for the warranty, you get a basic 1 year. Let's crack it open and have a look. The case is nice and solid, certainly more solid than your standard cheap butane cooker. That may be a lot to do with the compact size, giving it more rigidity. Got a couple of nice little handles there, pretty standard sliding latches. Why do you always end up opening them upside down? Every stove, I never get them the right way up. It's got this cool little leather look strap here that holds it shut. It's not real leather though, so it's probably not going to last forever. This just swings out like so, and then check out this cool trivet opening action. It's really neat. It's a really well designed mechanism. Now this is really interesting. It has a brass burner. That's not something you'd usually find outside of a high-end home cooking appliance. Now brass is great because it's good for heat retention and distribution. It's got better corrosion resistance, it handles high temperature better, it does heating and cooling cycles without warping better, and it's corrosion resistant. Oh, did I already say that it doesn't clog as much? There's a lot of benefits to brass. It's probably important to note the size of the trivet. It's 240 across, so it takes a good sized pan pretty well, but it's not going to be great for a full-size wok. The butane can connects a little different to normal. We'll go into this more in a moment. It's got a piezo igniter, and it fires first time every time. That burner is 8,000 BTU. 8,000 is a pretty typical number for a butane stove. So I've been using this for about 6 months now. And the reason I bought it is really simple. I saw it on the shelf and I thought, no way, that is genius. I love a good space saver. It's just the sort of thing that anyone could find a use for. Even if you like carrying a full-size gas cooker, this is just quicker to set up for a roadside cook-up for lunch or to boil some water. Now that butane locking mechanism, as I mentioned before, it's a magnetic ring. I've seen a few reviews around online that say the magnetic ring is unreliable and the gas can kept popping out. I have not experienced that problem once. The very first time I went to use this, I couldn't work out how it attached. I'm very used to this type of butane cooker where you just throw the can in place and flick a lever and it pulls the can in and locks it. With this one, you have to line up the notch put it there and you really have to hold the entire unit still and apply good pressure from the back. I thought it was broken or I was doing something wrong. It just required that bit of extra pressure, and since I did that once, I know how it works. It's not a problem. Now, you can't leave the butane can inside the stove, which is what I normally do. So whether that's good or bad, I guess it's an unsafe practice, so it's probably a good thing that it stopped me from doing it. Issues and breakages. There haven't been any on this stove, not even a screw falling out, which is usually one of the first things to happen to most gear for me, and I've taken that on some rough corrugations. If you look at this other butane stove here, the little screw in the middle fell out of the burner, lost that ages ago. It's probably a good thing that nothing's broken, because as far as repairability goes, this stove, you got no options. That's pretty typical for a butane burner. They're not the gas cooker that's designed to be handed on for generations and to keep repairing. They're a cheap, easy to use, get into camping type of stove. Having said that, I've never really had one have a major failure. A couple of screws fallen out, the cases always crack, but the only reason I've ever upgraded or changed my butane stove is to move on to one with better features or increased safety, because the first generation I had, they were pretty well known for blowing up. Pro number one, 100% it is that compact size. That is the reason you buy this stove. Pro number two, despite the fact that it's compact, it folds out to the size of a full-size butane burner. Pro number three is that brass burner. Now, I've never had a problem with alley. I've had steel ones and they do rust a bit, but that brass burner is probably going to outlast the stove. Pro number four, 8,000 BTU. Look, it's not enormous, but it's a solid performer. Con number one is the basic 1-year warranty. Con number two is you'll get poor performance on chilly mornings. And I don't even mean freezing. I'm talking like 8 degrees Celsius, which is about 45 Fahrenheit. That's not specifically the fault of this stove. That's an inherent thing for all butane stoves, which I'll go more into in a video in the future. Con number three is true of most butane stoves. It's not very serviceable. For instance, the gas jet is soldered onto the gas pipe. You can't remove the jet even to clean it. Con number four, the slightest breeze is going to take away all your heat and possibly blow the stove out. That's just inherent in the design. Your normal butane cooker has all this casing around it which protects it a bit better from the wind, and even still they blow out and lose a lot of their heat in a wind or a breeze. Another thing with those is being so big, the case is so big, you can use the case as a bit of a windbreak. Now you look at the Spider Stove, it's all very open around there, the breeze catches it a lot easier. But the fix is simple. Grab a windshield. These things start for about $20 at a camping store, but they tend to be galvanized steel. I wanted something a bit more compact and lighter, so I got this one that was $13 off Amazon. It's pretty light, so it might actually blow around in the wind itself, but once it sort of conforms around the cooker, should be okay. There is a tiny flaw with it. If you do decide to get one, I've put the link in the description. It's these pins that hold it together. They rely on a bit of a kink at the end to hold them in place. Well, they don't seem to stay in place, so pretty easy to fix. I just pushed the pins a bit further down and crimped the end over with pliers. Or if you don't want to buy one, I actually quite liked this comment from someone on an older video. Get a cake tin from the op shop and just cut a notch out of it or something. Get creative. Do you own one of these and have some tips and tricks, or do you even just look at this video and think, I've got an idea that would make that better? Make sure you let us know down in the comments, and you might just be helping a fellow camper in the future.